Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I am your instructor, Richard Rost. In today's video, we're going to talk about age demographics, getting a count of customers by age demographic groups in Microsoft Access. You know what I'm talking about, right? Where you got under 18, these customers are 18 to 25, 26 to 40, and so on. We'll figure out their age first based on their date of birth, and then we'll put them into little groups like that. Today's question comes from Philip in Des Moines, Iowa. One of my favorite cities to pronounce, Des Moines. One of my gold members. Philip says, I do a lot of work with age demographics. Right now, I copy all of my customer data over to Excel to do my reporting. Say it isn't so. I need to know, for example, how many customers are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, etc. Can this be done in Access alone? Yes, of course, Philip, it can. And whenever I hear someone say they're taking their data out of Access and moving it over to Excel, that's just a matter of you don't know how to do it right in Access, which is what I'm here to show you how to do. There are very few things outside of the crazy Excel, like financial formulas and stuff like that, that Access can't do by itself. And with a little tweaking, you can even do some of the cool Excel stuff straight in Access too. But that's a whole different video. Today, let me show you how to do this stuff. Today, before we get started, got a couple prerequisite videos for you. If you don't know how to calculate someone's age based on their date of birth, go watch this video. We're going to use my simple age calculation that's 99.9% accurate, and it's good enough for doing simple demographics like this. If you don't know how to do an aggregate query, go watch this one. That's how you can group records together based on, for example, someone's age. All right, watch this video. And one more thing, you'll need to know the if function, right? It's basically an if-then wrapped inside a one function. If you don't know how to use this, go watch this video. These are all free videos. They're on my website. They're on my YouTube channel. I'll put links you can click on down below in the description under the video. Go watch these three things and then come on back. Okay, so here I am in my Tech Help free template. This is a free database. You can grab a copy of it off my website and learn how it's built. All the videos are online. And today's one of those videos where it's basically going to be taking things I've already showed you in other Tech Help videos and putting them together in a different way. Nothing today is really new. It's just assembled differently. It's kind of like I always say, using Access or building software in general, but especially Access, it's like playing with Legos, right? I can teach you how the different pieces snap together, but the toy that you build is completely on your own. You can do whatever you want. So I'm going to show you the stuff that we've done in previous videos, especially if you've taken my full lessons. You'll see a lot of this stuff is familiar. But I'm going to snap the Legos together a little bit differently. You're going to go, oh, that's how you could do that. Okay, so first thing we got to do is figure out some ages. So take a look at your customer table. We got a field in here called customer since. That's how long they've been a customer. We're going to pretend that's their date of birth because I don't feel like changing things. So we're just going to use customer since is their date of birth. So let's make a query and calculate their age. We know how to do this from my age video. So I'm going to go to create and then query design. I'm going to bring in that customer table. We can close that pane. And from in here, we're going to bring in the customer sense field because we really don't care about anything except the age of the customer, right? I don't care about their name, their ID, their address, any of that stuff. All I want is just a count of how many customers fall into which age brackets, right? Now, since we're calling this customer sense field their date of birth, I'm going to alias that, which basically means, here, I'll zoom in for you, Shift F2, which basically means in front of that, I'm going to put in DOB and then a colon. So we're going to pretend that's a field called date of birth. That's just how you rename a field in a query. It's called an alias, right? And if I run this now, it comes out as DOB. So I can use DOB in my calculations, which is also shorter than customer sense. I don't want to type that everywhere, right? So now I'm going to make a calculated field over here, which we know how to do from the age video, and I'm just going to paste in the formula. There it is. It's straight from the other video. I'll zoom in, right? Age is going to be that. It's the int of today's date minus their date of birth divided by 365 days in a year, 0.2425, if you want to be exact. So again, as I mentioned in the last video, this is over 99.9% accurate, and it's certainly good enough for a simple demographic thing like this. And now, if we run the query, we've got everyone's age right there. Now, these are customer senses, and the company's not that old, so you're going to find most of these values in here are like, 29, 16, 18. So let's make some people older in here. I'm feeling kind of old myself. So let's go. It's my 50th birthday later this year. So actually in like 2 weeks. So I was born in 1972. I'm not 50 yet. That's not my birthday. I put my birthday in. There we go. Let's put a couple of 1984, 85, 86. We'll just mix this up a little bit. 1962. We got a couple older people in here. All right, I don't feel so bad now. Let's save this as my customer queue, my customer query. Now, if we made an aggregate query out of this, we could get a count of how many people are specifically a certain age. Like if I sort this list, okay, you could see right there, for example, I got 4 people that are 6 years old. And you could do that with a simple aggregate query. So if I come in here and I go create, query design, let's bring in that customer queue. Let's bring in the age field. All right, so if I run that, I get a list of ages. Okay. Now, I'm going to make this a totals query or an aggregate query. And I'm going to say with the group by, that's going to group everybody together. Okay, and you can see there's only one record for 6 because that's the group. Okay, now if you also want to see how many records there are that are 6, you add age in again a second time, and this time change the group by to count. Okay, run it now, and there you go. You can see there were 4 people who are 6 years old. There are 4 people who are 19, and there's 1 person who's 49, and I'm sitting right here for now. Okay, but I don't want this. I don't want just each age here as a separate group. I want a bracket of ages, right? I want like 25 to 36 all grouped together. So let's forget about this for just a minute. Let's close this guy down. Don't save that. We don't need that right now. We're going to come back to that in a minute. Let's go back to our customer queue. Now, I'm going to say up front, there are a million different ways to do this. Okay, whenever I make a tech help video, I always do a quick Google search myself and see what everybody else has to say about the topic. And I always come across a million different methods. I've seen some using a switch statement. I've seen some people make an age group function. I've seen all kinds of weird, crazy stuff. I try to pick the method that I like, that I've used in the past, which I have. And as an instructor, I try to teach the method that I think is the easiest to understand. So yeah, there's some better ways to do this. There might be, but this is the way I like. And so this is what I'm going to teach you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put little groupings right here in the query. All right, come right over here. And in this first group, I'm going to say, okay, using my if function, my immediate if, right? I'm going to say if the person's age is under 18, then put them in a group here called under 18. All right, how are we going to do that? I'll zoom in. Okay, I'm going to make the field called under 18, colon. I'm going to say if age is less than 18, put a 1 here, otherwise put a 0 there. Basically a true false. But I'm going to use 1s and 0s because later on we can add up all the 1s. See where I'm going with that? Okay, trues evaluate to -1, then you got to multiply by -1, blah, blah, blah. Just do what I got there. You'll see what I'm doing in a minute. Okay, you ready? Save it and then run it. And look, everybody who's under 18 has a 1 in that category. See that? Yeah, you like that? Okay, let's do it again. Let's make the other groups. And Philip, I know you are only doing like 20s, 30s, 40s, so I have an even easier solution for you. I'll talk about it in just a few minutes. Let me finish this first. But for me, most of the time I see age demographics. It's never an even like decade. All right. So let's make the next group. Click over here. We want to do 18 to 25. Now, normally I try not to make field names, especially in tables. I try not to make my field names start with anything other than a letter. Numbers are allowed, but I frown on them, but I sometimes make exceptions. This is one of those exceptions. All right, so I'm going to make a group here called 18 to 25. And what's it going to be? It's going to be if age is greater than or equal to 18. Don't forget the 18-year-olds, right? The last one goes under 18. So this is going to be greater than or equal to 18. And age is less than or equal to 25. And if that's true, comma 1, comma 0. Put a 1 in there. Now I'm going to copy this because we're going to use it a couple more times, right? Control C, copy that. Okay, run that now. And there you go. There's your 18 to 25-year-olds. See? 19, 23. There's a 0 here and a 1 there. See where I'm going with this? All right, we'll do 2 more groups. Right here. Paste it in. We'll do 26 to 40. So this will be 26 to 40. And yeah, you got to make sure you don't overlap. Right? 26 to 40. That's on you. That's a designer. That's a PEBCAC error. Right? And then we'll do 1 more, which is over 40. Okay? So it's going to be over 40, colon, if age is greater than 40, comma 1, comma 0. That should cover everybody. All right? All right. Save it. Run it. There's all your demographic groups broken down. Everybody should have at least one, at least and only, so one and only one, one. Okay? All right, so we're done with the customer query. Save that. Close it down. Now, let's go make our demographic query. So create, query design. And we're going to bring in the customer queue. And now we just need our demographic group. So bring in that, 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 and that. Yes, you can select them all and drag them all at the same time. I'm lazy. Which you'd think if I was lazy, I'd really do this and then bring them all together, and that would save me some clicks, but no. Okay, now if I run this now, you get that. So now it's time to make our aggregate query. Okay, I'm going to group these all together. So turn on the totals. And now for group by, don't use count. Because if you use count, watch what happens. If you run it, you get all 29s. Why? Figure it out. Take a second. Take a look at the data. There are 29 records. Okay? 0 is a value. So if you count all the records, right, 1s and 0s will both show up in your count. So what you need to do here is sum these records. Sum those up, and it'll add up all the ones in that column, that field, that calculated query field, that are 1s, and the 0s just won't add up, right? And boom, there you go. See that? 11, 10, 6, and 2 over 40s. This is, you know, you're shopping at one of those under 21 type stores, I guess. Now, I personally hate when aggregate queries add sum of in the beginning up there. I don't like that. So what I end up doing is I come in here and I alias these guys to keep their original names. It's really weird. So I'll go under 18, colon, under 18. See? Right? Copy that, colon, paste. Copy that, colon, paste. Copy that, colon, paste. And now it'll replace sum of over 40 with just over 40. So there's your field names. And now I can save this as my demographic queue, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, there's a million other methods to do this. I think this is nice and easy. It's pretty straightforward. If you look at this, you can see exactly what I did, right? Just follow it back to the customer query. Come over here to the customer query, open it up. You can see this. It's easy to understand with all these ifs. There's no real crazy SQL, although if you do look at this in SQL view, it is kind of crazy. But it's easier to understand if you look at it in the designer. And yeah, there's a thing called a switch statement you can use and all that. I think this is the easiest way myself. Now, Philip, if you're just breaking these down into what decade they're in, and that's all. Most demographic reports that I see are always like, 18 to 25, 26 to 34. It's never an even decade. But if that's all you need, just yesterday I posted a video, a fast tip video on how to do decades. You take a date and you pull out the decade, right? And it's real simple, and you can use it for this method too. So here, for example, come over here, and you can say, same kind of method I did before. I say decade, right? Take the take their age, integer divide by 10. So if you're 23, you'll just get 20, right? Or technically you'll get a 2, and then you'll multiply that by 10. Okay, same thing I did in the decade video yesterday. See? Boom. Right? It takes 23, integer divide by 10 is a 2, multiply by 10, you get the 20, right? There's a 20-year-old. There's, someone in their 30s. There's someone in their 50s. Okay, so if you only want the decade, there you go. And of course, these guys haven't reached their first decade yet. They're babies. Now, this method, like I said, it's easy to use. We set it up relatively quickly. You can make changes to this by just coming into the query, but the problem with this method is you do have to come in here and make changes to the query design if you want to change these brackets. If that's something that happens a lot, you might want to make it so the user can change those brackets, right, the max and min values of each bracket, without having to go into design of the database. Because we always want to keep our users out of database design, right? We give them a locked front end. So if that's the case, I'll show you how to do that in the extended cut for the members. We'll set up a table where we have each of the groups has a minimum and maximum value, right? So 0 to 17. Then we'll do the count similarly to what we did in this query. A little bit different because we got to look at the two different fields here. And then we'll do some fun with pie charts. We haven't done a lot with charts. I'll show you a modern chart, and then I'll show you the classic old school chart. I actually like the classic old school charts better. The modern charts still have a lot to be worked on yet. They're still making, they look neater, they look cleaner and crisper. But functionally, these old guys are better. But I'll show you all of this stuff in the extended cut for the members. And members will be able to come in here and just change these on the fly if you want to, or your user can. I'm gonna show you how to make a query, but you can make a pretty form if you want to make a form for your users to come in here and say, okay, I want 18 to 23 now, and I want 24 to 46, and then I want 47 to, I don't know, 105, whatever. Figure out who your oldest customer is and put that in there. But this is something that the user can do. You don't have to do this in a query anymore. And this again will be covered in the extended cut for the members. As a reminder, silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut videos. And there's lots of them. There's like 300 of them. So join now. Click that blue join button. And come on, get in the party. Jump in the pool. Everyone's doing it. All the cool kids are doing it. We're going streaking in the quad later, too. Okay, I hope you guys learned something. And I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free, and click on the bell icon to select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Make sure you click the Show More link down below the video to find additional resources and links. You'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted, so if you'd like to get an email every time I post a video, click on the link to join my mailing list. Even if you don't want to become a member, feel free to donate to my tip jar. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got puppies to feed. How do you become a member? Click on the join button below the video. After you click the join button, you'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks. Silver members and up will get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, one free beginner class each month, and more. Gold members get access to download all of the sample databases that I build in my tech help videos, plus my code vault, where I keep tons of different functions that I use. You'll also get a higher priority if you decide to submit any tech help questions to me, and you'll get one free expert class each month after you finish the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks, plus even higher priority for tech help questions, access to all of my full beginner courses for every subject, and one free developer class each month after you finish the expert classes. These are the full-length courses found on my website, not just for access too. I also teach Word, Excel, Visual Basic, and lots more. You can now become a Diamond sponsor and have your name or company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown in each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. But don't worry, these free tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. Now, if you have not yet tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access. It's over 4 hours long, and I just updated it for 2021. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll include a link below that you can click on. And also, if you like Level 1, Level 2 is just $1. Yep, that's all, $1, and it's free for all members of my YouTube channel at any level even supporters. Want to have your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my tech help page on my website. You can send me your question there. While you're on my site, feel free to stop by the Access Forum. Lots of good conversations happening there. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course, YouTube. Once again, my name is Richard Ross. Thank you for watching this Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned something today. I'll see you again soon.